This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good afternoon, Tuscaloosa, Internet world of West Alabama. How we doing today? It is the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. You're hanging out with us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, your favorite podcast platform, or you're hanging out with us on the Bama Central YouTube channel. We're having a lot of fun in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios today, and we are going to talk about Carson Beck some more. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about Carson Beck. We're going to talk about a decommitment. We'll see where the conversation goes. On this Thursday, we invite you to jump in and join us in the comments section at Joe Gaither 6 on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, or right there at Bama Central on the YouTube channel. You can find my friend Mason Woods getting set up in the Derek Daniels Studios at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. Having a lot of fun with Mason. Yesterday, we talked about Carson Beck a little bit, and as we got out of the show, the conversation kind of took off on us, and so we want to readdress what we said yesterday and give it some layers, go through the layers of this discussion with Mason in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios. Call Derek and his team at 205-758-3391 for all your insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. Mason Woods, good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing good. Excited to get into the conversation today. I think we have some fun topics to discuss, and maybe some things that maybe we can change some people's minds today on some opinions. Who knows?
What are we changing minds on?
Maybe Carson Beck.
Carson Beck, that he's not good, or that he is good.
You might, because I think you've convinced me.
Well, okay, I think he is good. Let's go back to yesterday's conversation. Yesterday, it starts with Carson Beck. The second team to contact him out of the portal was Alabama, besides Miami. And we took off and ran from there. And what we said, I still don't think was inaccurate. I do believe that in some form or fashion, he was contacted by Alabama. I do believe that there was some what is contact? Let's be honest. What is contact? Doesn't mean, come be our starting quarterback. We'll give you $8 million and 5 Lamborghinis, and here's our deal, and blah, blah, blah. No, not that. But just contact.
Where do you even get a Lamborghini in Alabama?
You'd have to import it somewhere.
Yeah,
right? That's what they had to import it in Athens, right?
You probably get one in Atlanta somewhere.
Okay. Right. Technically importing from Atlanta. I think there was a little contact, but I think it was always Miami for Carson Beck. What you had reported after we went off, Andrew Bowen of On 3 Sports went out there and said that the report from Matthew or Michael Hayes? Matthew Hayes?
Matt Hayes.
Matt Hayes. Well, he said, this is a BS report. This is not true. I think that to some degree, the connections and sources that On 3 Sports has, amazing. Very, very good. Very good. So this is not an indictment on that at all. Mm-hmm. But I think that sometimes they become a parrot for those sources. And if they're told, hey, we never contacted him, well, it's not anyone's fault to say, yeah, they said they never contacted him. This is the report. They never contacted him. Believe it. Absolutely. Sure. And so I don't think Andrew Bowen was wrong. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But I think that it behooves the Alabama football facility and football people no, we never reached out to them. We're comfortable with the guys we have. And I think they are comfortable with the guys we have. That's another layer that we want to get into here. But you would have been stupid to not. Now, I don't think Kalen DeBoer picked up the phone. I'm not saying that. I don't even think Nick Sheridan picked up the phone. I think you're talking like somebody down the line contacted somebody ancillary in Beck's camp. But does it mean anything? No, it doesn't mean anything. So Bone ultimately is right. Andrew Bone is ultimately right. It doesn't mean anything. This report from Matthew Hayes, while I think is legitimate, means nothing. Means nothing at all, especially when you consider what happened over the course of the day and a half that Carson Beck was actually in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to Miami. He's on a non-contact tag. Andrew Bone reports that. But of course, a no-contact tag, what does that mean? Oh, you're going to get in trouble if you call this, or if you call his high school coach, or if you call, his aunt's, uncle's, brother's, mother's, sister. That's what I think contact here is probably
technically true.
Yeah, a really low-level touch point.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that it was ever serious. Like we said yesterday, I don't think it ever got off the ground. No. You dangle I saw 6.5. Is he getting $4 million or is he getting 6.5? I've seen both numbers. Carson Beck to Miami. And so you dangle $4 million and a year with my girlfriend on the beach, then it's no brainer. Mm-hmm. I'm going to Miami, taking my $4 million.
Plenty of Lamborghinis to buy in Miami. That's for sure.
Right. It's not serious. This whole Carson Beck to Alabama thing, it never. Even if it was Kalen DeBoer calling Carson Beck's cell phone, which it wasn't. I totally is hooey, right? It would never got off the ground. I'm sure. Hey, coach, if it were that, it might have responded. Yeah, coach, we'll keep in touch. Great to hear from you. But I don't think it was any sort of faking. I don't think, and even so, it might. Even in this scenario, hey Carson, how you doing? Just checking in. What your thoughts are here? Oh, coach, I'm probably going to Miami.
All right.
Cool. Have a great day. Been great to see you last year in the SEC. Maybe we'll catch you down the line. Even if it were coached to that direct, which it weren't. It's silly. So what I want to take this conversation. Well, first, invite you, Mason. I've been yapping. What you want to say?
This may be exactly where you're heading because I know you kind of teased getting into talking about the quarterbacks that are on the roster, but I saw some discourse yesterday about, boy, those quarterbacks that they have must suck. And it's I don't think that is the correct takeaway from this whatsoever. Like you just kind of laid out, I think if this quote unquote contact did indeed happen, it was very preliminary. It was never really anything concrete. I doubt there was ever even any numbers discussed or anything like that. So I don't think at any point whoever was doing this contacting really had it in their head that, okay, Austin Mack and Ty Simpson are not cut out for this job. Keelan Russell's not cut out for this job. If whatever it is, I just think that's the wrong takeaway here.
If you want to be excellent, you got to turn over every stone. And if a top quarterback jumps in the transfer portal, and you at least check in with him, you at least have some sort of hey, we're a top program. And people can talk about, we go back to yesterday's conversation and a lot of conversations around Carson Beck. Carson Beck is ass. Carson Beck, he turned the ball over. Carson Beck's terrible. I think Carson Beck was really let down by his teammates this year. And I think he obviously plays a part in that, but I think he was let down by his teammates this year. I think he is viewed by the football minds, and I'm not saying that I'm one of them. I'm just saying that I think that he's viewed by the coaching staffs and the scouting departments oh, that's a real quarterback. We can win with him. We can plug him into our system and make it happen. But that's where he wanted to go, Mason. Exactly to where you're leading me. I don't think it says anything about Austin Mack. I don't think it says anything about Ty Simpson. I don't think it says anything about Keelan Russell or Paul Ott-Caruth, Cade Ott-Caruth. Which one is it? Paul is the uncle who played the older. It's Cade who's on the roster. Or maybe he graduated. I hope he didn't graduate. I just love having a Caruth on the roster. That's fun to say. I don't think it says anything about him. I think it says we're a top program and this is a top transfer portal target. We at least need to check in.
At least see what he's doing.
Right.
Get an early jump on figure out.
Hey, you going to Auburn?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, have you heard from LSU?
Yeah.
Obviously, they both got quarterbacks themselves. But
back to Georgia?
I'm just trying to make a point here. You're right. Exactly. Hey, hey Carson. What'd you hear from the scouts?
Yeah.
Oh, you transferring?
Going to
Okay,
Oklahoma?
what you thinking? Right, exactly. and
A lot of
so
quarterback needy teams in the SEC.
and so for people automatically going out there on Twitter and say, oh, they wanted Carson Beck to replace Austin Mack, to replace Ty Simpson, to replace. No, I think that if he'd have said, if you check in with Carson Beck and he said, hey, man, well, I kind of was thinking about Tuscaloosa, then you get going and decide, well, do we want to bring that in? And I ultimately think that Alabama would have passed if the interests were that high. And I don't think that Alabama would have been in a financial position first to be in the game if it were a serious discussion.
Sure.
But you look at the room. I've been sitting with Ty Simpson for 3 years now. Austin Mack's been with me for 2 years now. And Keelan Russell is my handpicked chosen child out of Texas that we think really
gunks everything up.
Revolutionize the game. Right. So I believe that you actually like the three guys in the room a lot. And this spring is gonna be awesome. Pick a guy, whoever you like. I don't care. Be Team Simpson. Be Team Russell. It's fine. I'm Team Mac, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am ultimately team. I want to see the best quarterback win the job and succeed. And so if it's your guy, great. I think the spring is going to be a lot of fun because you're going to be dealing with three quarterbacks who are much more suited to run your offense. If you can get Simpson to hang in the pocket and trust his reads and not bail out the back, do all this you'll get real frustrated. You'll get really in your Jalen Milroe bag watching that happen. But if he can just operate the offense, hang in there, trust his skill sets, he could be the guy. Or you got Austin Mack, Mr. Tall. I'm standing above everything, and I'm just whipping the ball all over the place. And then Keelan Russell, Mr. Natural. I don't think
you never know what you're going to get with him. He's like electric.
I don't know that any of this Carson Beck stuff ever was going to get off the ground, but I think the takes went wild for something that was
really a nothing burger at the end of the day.
Yes. Oh, okay. When the more wants hate his quarter. No, I think you got three really good. And now maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm just, crimson colored glasses over here, naive. But I think you got three really, really good quarterbacks sitting here waiting for their turn. And it would have been a mistake to bring him in, but it would have been also a mistake not to have any sort of contact at all.
I mean, it's like, you look at the NFL draft, teams have their top 30 meetings. They meet with players that they know good and well they will not be in a position to draft, just to do their due diligence on the off chance it may happen and they fall to them. Quarterbacks will meet with teams picking in the 20s because who knows? You never know what's going to happen. They just want to check it out, do their due diligence. It's just what good teams do, good programs do. You like you said, you turn over every stone.
So you look at Matt Hayes. I've got our boss Chris Walsh vetted for him yesterday when we had a chat. He said, "Oh, I know him. He's a good reporter." I don't think he made it up. He's located, based in Jacksonville, right where Carson Beck is from. But again, I think that it's probably an outside the, a little bit outside the realm. It wasn't Carson getting contacted. So
it was painted a little bit more serious than it actually was.
Right. And so at the end of the day, ultimately, none of it matters. You had spring practice in, 2.5 months or
something
so.
Like that.
Right. Fourth quarter first, and then spring practice. Speaking of the transfer portal window, before we get to, I got an article pulled up predicting the SEC starters. And I want to compare hypothetically Simpson, Mack, and Russell versus the other 15. But before I do, did you see that college football coaches are proposing a big old change to the transfer portal window.
I saw something about it.
And this bad boy needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
This bad boy needs to happen like next year, right now.
Yes.
They say we want to alter the December window. We want to make it 10 days in January. 10 days in January, preferably after, X point, after New Year's Day bowls. So that little Johnny X doesn't go in the transfer portal before limiting and really constricting my practices, my postseason practices.
Prabula, guy from Penn State. I was the one that did that.
Oh, yeah.
Visits while they were practicing for their playoff game. It's crazy. Crazy. I mean, it threw no fault of his own. That's the way the calendar is set up, and he was putting himself at a disadvantage if he had sat with the team and not taken visits to other schools. But it's ridiculous the way that the NCAA has set things up here. It's bad for both parties, the program and the kids trying to transfer.
Right. The Arizona State coach Dillingham was like sitting there like, yeah, I'm going to help the kids transfer if they want to transfer, but if they want to practice and stay with us through the run, that's great. It's weird.
It's very strange.
This needs to happen right now. That way, look, Alabama almost had 2 different transfer portal kind of spots this year because you get the announcements before December 9th or whatever, wasn't it? December 9th, right after the SEC championship game, you got announcements before the portal opened, and obviously you had a couple of guys go in the portal or leave the team, before the season ended. But you had several guys go in right as it opened, and then it calmed off for a little bit, and then you had 3 or 4 more guys go right in before the bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the bowl game again, you had 3 or 4 more guys after that. And so, let's just calm it down. Give me just 10 days you're on portal watch.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. Just say this is the time where you have to focus on this. Let the coaches coach their team up through December, through the end of the season, where many teams are still playing. And then say, all right, this is the time where you don't have to focus on the X's and O's anymore. You get to just play the transfer portal game.
Do you think Alabama won this year in the transfer portal? We haven't done that. We haven't talked about that enough. Do you think Alabama won the portal? What do you think we've done here? The Crimson Tide. Let's look at this coming and going. I know that we've got the coming and going article pretty close up here because it was pinned pretty recently. Do you think Alabama won the transfer portal this year, Mason? Before I actually tell it to you,
I think so. I think what they got to address the team needs pretty well.
Arrivals. We've gone the list of departures 100 times. You know who the departures are. Arrivals. David Byrd, long snapper from Cal. Kelby Collins, defensive lineman from Florida. Cam Calhoun, cornerback from Utah. Cam Dewberry, offensive lineman from Texas A&M. Isaiah Horton, wide receiver from Miami. Nakai Hill-Green, linebacker from Colorado. Oh, here's a hard one. Arkel Ungunwum. Arkel Unungwam, offensive lineman from Bowling Green, and Draylon Washington, running back from Louisiana. So there we go. That's about half dozen or so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 incoming transfers. And obviously you still can get some more guys in the post-spring practice window if you need them. But you'll be fighting to retain as well in that window. Did Alabama win or lose the winter transfer portal window, Mason?
I think they did well. I think they won, I'll say. I think they came out better than they went into it. I think they addressed some positions of need, specifically wide receiver. You go get Isaiah Horton, who I think is really going to open up this offense a lot and give you a lot of things that you lacked this past season. I think Cam Calhoun at cornerback, probably not going to be a starter, but a guy that can provide depth, someone who was pretty talented last year and still has a lot of eligibility left. You fill in a spot on the offensive line with Cam Dewberry, I think, a very experienced starter in their SEC. And then you get another guy who is kind of in that mold of his ceiling is very, very high. He's a little bit of untapped potential, maybe a raw player. So I think you can work with him. Another guy who has a ton of eligibility left. The running back pickup is still a little confusing to me, but we talked about it. You need a little depth piece there, so you go get one. I feel really good about all these players that they got. I don't think any of them are going to be like, kind of forgotten about through the season as players who come here and then don't end up doing anything. I feel like just about all of them will be able to contribute this year.
Only one I don't see contributing is the young man's name that I'm going to have to learn how to pronounce. Arkel
Anugum. According to the Ball State website.
Yeah, say it again.
Anugum.
Anugum. Anugwom. Anugum.
Apparently just Anugum. Arkel Anugum.
We're going to ignore the W. Okay. Arkel Anugum. Offensive lineman out of Bowling Green. I think probably is going to be of a project. But I can see Cam Dewberry just walking right into Tyler Booker's spot. Maybe not being a one-to-one replacement, goodness gracious, who could be, but being his own player and playing left guard. I like Kelvin Collins and his potential impact. Don't know a ton about Cam Calhoun and where you're going to play, buddy, but if we're going to rotate the defensive backfield like we did this season, then holy smokes, you're going to play.
Yeah.
Nikai Hill-Green, super experienced. I think you're going to see him a lot, man, a lot.
He's going to be a thumper.
Yeah. And Isaiah Horton, you got that was what was missing this year, a third option. That
wasn't a tight end.
And the tight ends were good, but they were tight ends.
But they weren't. You want a third option to be a receiver, not a tight end. He brings that.
I think that's good. I think it was good. It wasn't like a blowout win in the transfer portal.
No,
but it was a win.
Mm-hmm.
Look, a 3-point Alabama kicked a field goal at the end of the game. 36-yard field goal. Got in line for a chip shot field goal to win the game.
Yeah, I think of some of the positions that they addressed, there maybe was some better options out there that went to other schools, but I think overall they did a good job.
If you had one more transfer portal spot, Mason, you can wave your magic wand and bring one more player in, maybe not name the player, but a position that you think needs to wave our magic wand, find us a player at this position in the spring transfer portal window.
Probably go nab another tackle.
Yeah, that was or mind reading here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably go get another offensive tackle. I don't really know even who all was available.
Sure, that's what I'm suggesting.
Maybe they, and I think Cam Dewberry's a good option to pick up. He's maybe going to play more on the inside, but if he can do that, that's probably what I would have done. I still, while I do think they won, still feel like there's maybe a little bit that could have been addressed there.
Do you going into next year right now with Caden on the left side, Proctor? You're number 3. I like that. That gives me a lot of that revs me up. You're number 3. Then Wilkin Formby on the right side, unless he gets supplanted by someone, and he's going into year number 3 as well. Now, doesn't have the starting and playing experience like Caden Proctor, but he's going into that 3rd year. Come on, is this are both the flowers going to bloom right here in their 3rd year? The investment you've planted the seed in the first year. We've watered them in the 2nd year, and now we're gonna bloom. Is it gonna bloom?
I feel good about Wilkin.
Taco Casa has a lot of what you like.
I think Wilkin's gonna have a good year. The other side, I don't know.
They gotta put out a promotion. If Alabama football rushes for X yards, you get X tacos.
That would be good.
Or if Alabama football has fewer than, has 0 sacks in the game, you gotta go 0 there. You can't get a taco for a one-sack game. You gotta keep the quarterback clean. Because the taco, you're gonna get messy with the taco, right? Is it messy nachos? Isn't that what they do?
Yeah.
So in order to earn the messy nachos, you got to keep the quarterback's jersey clean. 0 sack game, you get you a free messy nacho voucher. Come on, Taco Casa, let's work it out.
With us here. Yeah.
We got tie-in promotions to offensive line performances. Shoot. Just like, because at basketball games, the place goes nuts for gooey fries. You get the opposing team to miss the first free throw, and obviously everybody's cheering anyways. It's free throws. Oh,
Yeah.
But like you miss the first free throw, the place goes insane trying to get you miss that second free throw for their gooey fries. We got to tie in Taco Casa, some sort of offensive line promotion at select locations.
What else could we do? I mean, sacks would be good. Rushing yards, pancake blocks. We gotta have somebody tracking pancake blocks, maybe.
if the offensive line has 6-pack tacos or whatever, six pancake blocks.
There we go. Oh yeah, that would be good. That would get that. I mean, I am a patron of Taco Casa, but that would get me in the doors.
They got a lot of what you like. Wasn't that the tune?
I don't know.
That was their tune. Taco. Maybe. Hey, shoot. If I'm wrong, you can let me know in the comments. If that was not the tune and I just made up the Taco Casa jingle, you can let me know at Joe Gaither 6. All right, we're hanging out in the Derek Daniels studios, kind of going off the rails a little bit right there. We want to talk about the starting quarterbacks in the SEC, who they were going to be in 2025, at least according to this fella's article. Oh, let me scroll back to the top so I can find your name, sir. This is from ESPN Plus. If you don't have ESPN Plus, we'll let you behind the paywall right here. Multiple contributors. Okay, thank you. This says multiple contributors. I wanted to give you credit, multiple contributors, but multiple contributors predict the starting quarterbacks in all. I think it's every starting quarterback, but I'm just going to focus on the SEC. So I just typed in SEC right there. Okay, perfect. Scrolling all the way down. Before we talk about the other quarterbacks, we want to thank Derek Daniel for sponsoring the program. You can call him at 205-758-3391 for all your insurance needs. Red, Reese, and Victoria are upstairs right now. They'll be happy to take your call. They'll be walking you through any process that you need. If you got a problem and you are insured by them, even better. I mean, not that you have a problem, but they'll be happy to step in, and they are great about taking care of problems. One time, oh my gosh, Derek Daniel went out and changed one of his clients' tires before. Just went out. He had a problem on the roadside. He was covered by State Farm, and Derek was close by, went out, helped him change the tire. That's the service that you can expect from Derek Daniel and his team. Call him at 205-758-3391 and let Derek work for you. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. All right, so we're right here, and we want to keep it rolling on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com. And we are looking at this article from ESPN Plus predicting all the starting quarterbacks in college football, but we want to kind of narrow it down just to the SEC. And Mason, as I read these predictions, I want you to think about where you would rank Ty Simpson with them, because that's who they have predicted for Alabama. And good. I mean, that's the odds-on favorite. That's the
sleep.
Sure, but that's the front runner.
Sure.
I want you to think about where you would rank Ty Simpson. I want you to think about where you'd rank Austin Mack and where you might rank Mr. 5-star freshman Keelan Russell. All right, so Alabama, he does predict Ty Simpson, the multiple contributors.
Sure.
Predict
non-ball knowers over there at ESPN, I'm afraid.
Okay.
No, I think it's a fair prediction to make.
We keep it going. Arkansas, we got returning starter Taylor Green. Auburn, he's got Jackson Arnold, transfer in from Oklahoma.
Checks out.
Florida, returning starter DJ Lagway. He's got Georgia, Gunnar Stockton, who we saw in the playoffs. Kentucky, he's got transfer Mr. Texas A&M. I beat Alabama, Zach Calzada. What? In from Incarnate Word. A&M, Auburn, Incarnate Word, Kentucky. Zach Calzada.
Kentucky.
LSU, Garrett Nussmeier, returning starter. Mississippi State, returning starter Blake Shapen. Missouri, the guy that you mentioned, Bo Pribula, is his prediction. The Penn State transfer. After Brady Cook has moved on, I guess Drew Pine will be his competition there. Then you got John Mateer at Oklahoma, Washington State transfer. Austin Simmons is a new player at Ole Miss. And then I guess we have Lenore Sellers at South Carolina, returning starter. Returning starter at Tennessee, Nico Iamaleava. You have Arch Manning at Texas, Marcel Reed at Texas A&M, and Diego Pavia with the Vanderbilt Commodores. You got a lot of household names right there.
Yeah, a lot of good quarterbacks in the SEC for 2025. It's tough to say where this Alabama room stacks up because we've seen so little from them.
Okay, let's
But
just play.
I think
Keep going. I'm gonna make some.
yeah, I mean, I think I think you can probably throw Kentucky down at the bottom. You can throw Mississippi State probably down there as well. I think we haven't seen enough from Mississippi State's quarterback to think that he's really going to be super impressive next year. I think. Let's see, who else did you name? I know. I mean, as far as the top, I don't know. There's so many good quarterbacks. I mean, DJ Lagway, Lenore Sellers, Taylon Green was even good for Arkansas last year. Jackson Arnold was not great last year, but he's kind of shown it in spurts that he can be good. And under Hugh Freeze at Auburn, I feel like that's just a perfect marriage. That'll probably end up working out pretty well for them. Garrett Nussmeier was solid for LSU last year, just a little wild at times. He comes back, obviously, another year under his belt. Gunnar Stockton, Georgia, did not show us much in the opportunities he was given. You know, he had the impressive SEC championship performance and then went out and didn't do a whole lot in the playoffs. So I'm a bit wary of what that offense is going to look like. So maybe I would tend to put that quarterback room a little further down the line. But it's tough. I mean, I would probably line Alabama in kind of right in the middle of the pack, I would say. You know, probably in that like 6 to 10 range.
All right, I just chicken scratched Garrett Nussmeier, Lenore Sellers, DJ Lagway, Taylor Green, Nico Yamaliava, Marcel Reed, Diego Pavia, Jackson Arnold. That's 8. Where are you at, Ty Simpson? Are you right there at 9? Are you? Because come on, we're not better than, like, at least right now where we are. Here we are, January 16th, and you've only played in X how many games, how many meaningful snaps. Are you better than any of these 8? Maybe we don't. No one can say that.
Yeah.
No one with a brain can say it. You can say it with your heart. Please feel free to. I welcome that.
But yeah.
Okay. That's 8 now. All right. I like and only out of ignorance, I don't know nothing about you, John Mateer. I don't know nothing about you, Bo Prebula. Are y'all better than Ty Simpson? All right, I'm gonna give my boy Ty Simpson the nod there. That's 2. Okay, here we go. Let's just take the rest of these. Okay, Pavia made my list. Marcel Reed made my list. Arch Manning.
Ty Simpson over Diego Pavia.
You are? You are?
Yes, I am. I don't trust Diego Pavia.
Okay.
He's electric. Don't get me wrong, but he's going to lose you a lot of football games. Too.
Okay, you're probably right. All right. So you keep a tally in your head. Mm-hmm. So I have 2 now. You have 3. I'm counting quarterbacks that are that are behind, above or behind. Arch Manning, above or behind?
Above.
Yeah, Arch. We're taking Manning over.
I've seen enough from Arch in the very limited amount.
Sellers and Iamaliava made our list. What do we know about Austin Simmons? Lane Kiffin, the write-up says, Lane Kiffin has not been looking to the transfer portal to find a successor for 3-year starter Jackson Dart. He trusts his next man up, and it's going to be the real deal. Simmons is a talented 2-sport athlete as a quarterback and a left-handed pitcher. He's played just 79 snaps, but impressed with a 75-yard touchdown drive in the Rebels' upset win over Georgia and threw for 282 yards on a 19 of 32 passing night in 2024. He has 3 more seasons of eligibility and a ton of upside.
I mean, I don't think similar boat. I haven't seen enough from him. I don't think. I think he'll probably have a great season under Lane Kiffin, but that'll have to be seen.
You taking Simpson and the gang?
I'll give Simpson and the gang the nod here.
Okay, 3, at least 3 quarterbacks. Okay, so I said John Mateer already was one of them. I had no idea about that. I'll put him above. I said Bo Prebula. I'll put him above. All right, Blake Shapen, returning quarterback at Mississippi State, messed his knee up quickly. What, 2 or 3 games in to the season, messed his knee up bad. Let's see. Suffered season injury. Oh, excuse me, shoulder injury. I thought it was a knee injury. In the 4th game. But Shapen was 3rd in the SEC with 974 passing yards and 8 passing touchdowns when he went down. 27-game starter, should be the front runner entering spring, especially after Michael Van Buren moved to LSU, says the write-up. Blake Shapen, better or worse than Ty Simpson and the gang?
Just off of experience, we'll give him the nod.
Okay, all right. Garrett Nussmeier was on our list. Zach Calzada, come on. Ty Simpson and the gang, better than
Zach
that.
Calzada, you're 14th.
Right, so that's 4.
16th.
Gunnar Stockton wasn't on my list. The Georgia quarterback, a lot of good in the SEC title game. I guess hype and adrenaline and not scouting. A lot of bad in the game against Notre Dame. Obviously, no, Georgia went to the transfer portal and they spent some bleeping money on wide receivers. They went hard. They said, we're done with these guys who can't catch the football. Gunnar Stockton, with those improved skill positions, better or worse than Ty Simpson in the game?
I'm going to say worse.
Oh, okay.
I think Gunnar Stockton showed us the quarterback that he is, unfortunately. I don't think you're ever going to get a whole lot out of him.
All right, I'll go with you. That's 5 for me, and that's 6 for you, right? Yeah. DJ Lagway was on my list. Are you in agreement? Better.
Yeah.
Jackson Arnold was on my list. Are you in agreement? Better.
Yes, but I don't think it's a super wide gap there.
Okay, that's the list. Taylor Green on my list, and then back to Alabama.
Yeah. So what
I have 5 quarterbacks. You had six. So
we were right
10?
in that 6 to 10 range. Yeah. So 10
I had
to 9.
Alabama at 11.
Or yeah.
Nope.
Be all right. Austin Mack, number 1
By the end of the year?
by the end of the year.
No.
Best quarterback in the SEC.
Better than Garrett Nussmeier?
Oh,
Better than Lenore Sellers?
don't mention DJ.
Yeah, DJ's going to be nasty. Second year DJ Lagway. If I can work my throwing out just a little bit more, just keep
he's
dialing
gonna
it
be
in.
Really good. I mean, Lenore Sellers will also, I think, be very good, but I think he has a little more to work on with the passing than maybe Lagway does. Garrett Nussmeier, I think, will continue to be the same quarterback he was this past season, which was he makes some impressive throws and all, but a lot of really bad decisions. Marcel Reed is interesting because he was kind of exciting this past season in moments, but also was, just kind of streaky. But with more experience, I would imagine he continues to get better. But I feel good about this. It's Austin Mack's team. And if I'm wrong, I will, eat crow on the show and walk my loser lap. But
okay, we'll see. Look, you got to be better than you got to have better than 10th or 11th best quarterback play if you want to get to where you're going next year.
Top 3 in the SEC quarterback play, I think, next year. We're sitting here next year saying, yeah, Austin Mack was one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. Billy Napier he ain't gonna take 4 to 11 wins.
Ooh. It's just to me, there's a lot of talent and a lot of returners and a lot of. It's a good thing you brought all those defensive players back because look at all these.
I mean, this has got to be like the best the SEC has been for quarterbacks in a while.
Maybe collectively. I mean, this year was
as a whole.
Yeah, this year was pretty decent. All right,
a lot of talent.
Let's finish it up with what you wrote yesterday. I just saw the headline. What in the world is, what is he, class of 27?
7. Brock Willis. Disappointing, yeah. Decommits from Alabama. It seemed like he was one of the, given his social media presence, seemed like he was kind of really, really kind of excited to be an Alabama commit and, get here eventually. But it is what it is. He's 2027. I still think, I don't think it's, I think Alabama is still entirely on the board for him as an option. I don't think it's a thing where he was like scorned by anybody here in Tuscaloosa. I think he's just a very, very talented player and is continuing to get more and more attention nationally, and he just wants to open his options back up. He's from Moody, Alabama, so he's an in-state prospect. So I imagine Alabama, Auburn teams in the SEC right around this area were the first ones to contact him, first ones to get in touch with him. So, you make your quick decision. All right, I'm going to commit to Alabama. And then now, okay, Michigan, Ohio State, USC, whoever it may be is contacting him now. Because, the guy had I think he had 19 sacks this year and 26 tackles for loss. He's a freak. He had insane stats. So, he's going to, by the end of the recruiting cycle, probably be a 5-star edge rusher wanted by just about every program in the country. But I don't think Alabama's at all out of the competition.
I think the comment. Did I see the comment yesterday? I want to take it back to square one or start over or something like that.
Maybe.
I think that's what I saw. Take this back to square one. Like, you're a class of 27, dude. You're a
Got a ways to go.
rising junior. I'm not too worried about commitments and decommitments right now at that stage.
No, I don't think this is anything to panic at. Like I said,
Just gives Mason Woods 15 minutes worth of work.
yeah, there we go. Yeah, basically.
Okay. Anything else you got for us, Mason? Look. This is not self-serving. This is to you.
Worth noting that immediately after decommitting, he did pick up an offer from Miami. That's funny.
The U, baby. Mason's helped me out a lot over the last week and change, not only on the show, but with a car situation. And in an effort to drive a comment or two, see, usually we say, oh, nobody's listening this late. If you're listening, give us a comment. No, Mason's helped me out a lot over the last week. I think I'm going to take Mason and his lovely wife to dinner tonight. Leave me a comment where we should take the Woodses. That's what we should do. There we go. What you got? What else you got on your plate today? You doing anything crazy? I know we're having lunch with Chris. We're all getting fired, so the show is probably going to be over tonight. So this might be the final episode. Just kidding. Even if we're fired, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll make it on our own. Derek Daniel will let us in, and I've got the StreamYard password.
Oh, yeah, I gotta do some recruiting work. Gotta, write about Boston College, Miami, Missouri, Bama. Yeah, kind of figure out what a bunch of 15, 16, 17-year-olds are doing.
Good luck with that.
Good times.
Follow Mason Woods for that. You can find him at MA Woods on the Twitter machine. Leave us a comment. Where should we go eat tonight in Tuscaloosa? We appreciate everybody who's joined us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, The Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, on YouTube, wherever you find the show. We appreciate you so much. We always appreciate Derek Daniel for hosting the show. Call Derek and his team at 205-758-3391. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Make sure you call Derek and see how much he can save you today.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of The Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.